Hello children and welcome back to the class. Today as I was walking down to the school through our gardens, I happened to see Shyama the gardener planting saplings. She had 3 varieties of saplings. She had the sunflower saplings, the rose saplings and the marigold saplings. And what was interesting there, she was planting them in 3 different arrangements. And she had equal number of saplings of the sunflower, the rose and the marigolds. So, as I was walking and finding her planting the saplings, I took a pic of the entire saplings arranged and it was very interesting. So, I am going to share that picture with you today and we will start our class from there. So, children, this is the picture of the garden where Shyama was planting the saplings. As I already told you, she had 3 varieties of saplings, that is the sunflower, the roses and the marigolds. And you have to see that she has the same number of saplings of all the 3 varieties. So, what she did with the sunflower was, she had planted them one after another on a single row. So, all the 18 saplings are standing on a single row. You can see this here. The next, the rose saplings, she has put them in 6 rows. So, how did she arrange them? She has put 3 saplings in each row and 6 rows completes the 18 rose saplings. So, this was the second arrangement. And with the third variety of flowers, that is the marigolds, she put them in 2 rows. That is each row containing 9 marigold saplings. So, this was very interesting. The same number of saplings of all the 3 varieties, but the arrangements have been different. So, this is what I found very interesting and I hope it has been interesting for you also. So, children, we have seen the arrangement of saplings from Shyama. Now, we have another friend of ours waiting for our help. This is Bhima. He has 30 jars with him and he has to arrange them on a shelf. Now, the shelf can have any number of rows as we please. So, to start with, Bhima could arrange all his 30 jars in 2 rows on the shelf. Now, we should further go and try to help Bhima to have alternate arrangements on the shelf. That is, we need to show him how differently he can arrange the jars by either increasing or decreasing the number of rows. So, children, as I had already told you, we are here to help Bhima. Now, Bhima made a shelf for 30 jars. This is a long shelf with 2 rows and each row has the same number of jars. You can see it in the picture here. He has a long row of 15 jars on the first row and then he has another long row of 15 jars. So, the shelf is divided into 2 rows and hence he could accommodate 30 jars. So, now Bhima is confused whether he can do another arrangement in the same way, having equal number of jars on the shelf when they are arranged in rows. So, we are here to help him out to find out whether he can do this. So, let us see if instead of 15 jars in a row, if I have 10 jars in a row, then how many rows on the shelf should Bhima prepare? So, let us see if this should help him prepare the shelf. So, because I have put 10 jars in the first row, you can see it here, the 10 is getting arranged. Then successively I have the second 10 jars and then the third 10 jars. So, that completes the 30 jars. So, how many rows on the shelf should Bhima construct? Yes, you are right. He has to make 3 rows in the shelf. So, this was one arrangement. Now, these are arrangements which are long. Can we think of shorter arrangements? So, instead of thinking of putting 10 or 15 jars in a row, let us think of a smaller number. Say I have 5 jars kept in a single row. Then how many rows do you think he has to make so that he can accommodate all his 30 jars? Now, let us see the first 5 getting arranged. Yeah. So, the first 5 is arranged, and if I successively add another 5 and 5 and 5, let me see where I complete all the 30. So, can you see the first 5, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth and the sixth. So, when I have 6 rows arranged, then all the 30 jars get their place in the shelf. So, this would have been more convenient for Bhima because the rows have become shorter in length because the number of jars that need to be arranged have been reduced. So, this is a very useful way where we can find out how many rows and how many jars in a row required to be arranged. Now, the same way, instead of 5, if I could think of 6 jars in a row, then yes, your guess is right. Very good, my dear children. You have got used to this now. You know there are going to be 5 rows with 6 jars in a row to complete the 30. So, can you see how the arrangement is going on? You had the 6 jars in the first row and successively you had to make 4 more rows. So, in all there are going to be 5 rows of jars with 6 in each row. So, this completes the 30. So, that was very interesting and we should be happy that we could help Bhima. Okay children, now that we have helped Bhima in arranging the jars, now let me ask you a small question. Now, where have you seen such arrays in your day-to-day life? There are very interesting arrays which I am going to show you as images. So, keep guessing, where have you seen such arrangements in rows and columns while you come to school every day? So, as I told you my dear children, I told you to keep guessing where you have come across such arrays in your day-to-day life. So, the first image that you are seeing here is that of a stadium where the chairs are arranged in vertical and horizontal columns. So, this helps us to locate a seat in particular. Just because they are put in arrays, the arrangement is very systematic and we are able to locate a complete seat wherever we require to see them. Now, look at the second image here. This is quite obvious, you must be feeling very happy. Yeah, this is a morning assembly in a school. Like you do your morning assembly in the school, there are children sitting in a morning assembly. Now, where are you seeing this? You can see the rows and the columns in which they are arranged themselves. So, this is a very nice example. So, when next time you all get together for your morning assembly, you can count as how many rows you are standing. Maybe you are standing as per your class, but definitely make it a point to find out how many rows you are standing in. The last pic that I have here is that of an auditorium. It's a closed auditorium where the seats are again arranged in rows and columns. So, the rows and columns have a very significant usage in our day-to-day life also. Yes, that was all about the arrangements that we had. We had it in rows and columns. Now, moving on to some more activities. Now, we are going to do the skip counting that we have already done in grade 3. So, what did you do in grade 3? When we thought of skip counting, we used to jump the numbers and go on to the next. So, that is exactly what we are going to do now. We have 2 of our friends waiting to do the skip counting. We have the frog and the rabbit waiting to do the skip counts. One will be skipping in 3 and the second one will be skipping in 5. So, let us go and join them and find out where they reach in a particular number of jumps. Yeah, as I was talking about the frog and the rabbit who are going to jump in 3s and 5s. So, let us see where they jump on this number line. We have this big snake waiting with all the numbers around in his body to allow Mr. Frog and Mr. Rabbit to jump. So, we will start with the frog who is going to jump in 3s. So, to see how he jumps, I have an interesting activity for you. So, we will find out how that Mr. Frog jumps in 3 and how many jumps he takes to reach a particular point. Now, as I told you, Mr. Frog is going to take jumps in 3s. So, let me see where he would reach when he jumps in 3s and he makes 10 such jumps. So, let us wait and watch how Mr. Frog is going to take 10 jumps, keeping in mind that he is going to jump in threes. Now, look out. Oh, that's great. Could you see him jumping? He started from the 0 and every time he made a jump, he has crossed 3 numbers. This is very clearly visible for you here. Now, has he completed 10 jumps? Let's go and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Very good. So, this is how he has completed 10 jumps. So, where has he reached? He has reached 30. Now, let us go and help our friend Mr. Rabbit jump in fives. Let's see where he would reach while he takes 10 such jumps. So, let him take the 10 jumps and we should keep it in our mind that he is going to jump in fives. So, let us see where he reaches after he completes the 10 jumps. He seems to be faster. Okay. So, where has he reached? Oh, he has reached a 50. So, let us go back and see if all the 10 jumps are done. Now, observe carefully. When he starts from 0 and makes the first jump, he has reached 5. So, when he continues, let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So, on the end of the 10th jump, he has found himself landing on 50. So, that was very exciting. The multiplication table of 2. Can I use the skip counting to get the multiplication table of 2? So, I need to skip 10 times in 2's, which will make or create the 2 tables for me. So, let me see how the 2 table is getting formed here for me. Can you see how the jumping is leading me to the 2 tables? I have 1 2 is 2, 2 2 is 4, 3 2 is 6 and so on I reach to 10 2 is 20. So, the skip counting is allowing me to get the table of 2 like this. Suppose I want the table of 5. What do you think I have to do? I have to skip in 5's and I have to make 10 skips or 10 jumps to reach the 50. So, let me see how my multiplication table is getting formed here. Yeah, can you see it is all jumping in 5's and I reach till 50. So, I see it as 1 5 is 5, 2 5 is 10 and 3 5 is 15 and I go on like this as 10 5's are 50. Now, what is interesting here? Let us go and find out. Okay, we had just seen the table of 2 and the table of 5 generated in the skip counting. Now, I am going to show you a magic. I really do not have to go and do the skip counting to get the table of 7. I have the 2 tables and the 5 tables very much with me here. You can see that 1 2 is 2 and 1 5 is 5. Now, I simply have to add this 2 and 5 to get the 7. So, this is 1 7 is 7. Successively go and add this 4 and 10 here to make it 14. So, that is 2 7 is 14. Similarly, add the 6 and 15 you get a 21, 8 and 20 you get a 28, the 10 and the 25 you get a 35 and so on you reach 20 plus 50 as 70. So, my 7 tables is ready now. So, children, so far we have seen the arrangements, that is in arrays in rows and columns, and also we have done the skip counting. So, all this amounts to what we know as the multiplication. So, we have done the multiplication in 2 different ways, that is giving it in arrays or doing the skip counting. Now, moving on, we have another friend of ours waiting for our help. Now, this is Gayatri who is waiting there for us, who has some cats hiding inside a box. Now, Gayatri is unable to see the cats, she can only see their legs and she is confused about how can I find how many cats are hiding inside the box. So, let us go and help Gayatri in counting the number of cats which are hiding inside the box. Okay. So, as we were trying to help Gayatri count the number of cats inside the box, we had counted that there were 4 legs, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 and 28. So, based on the number of legs that we had counted, we could decide when there were 4 legs, there was only 1 cat. When there were 8 legs, it was 2 cats. 12 means there were 3 cats. When it was 16, there were 4 cats. When it was 20, there were 5 cats, 24 made it 6 and 28 made it 7. So, 28 leg means there were 7 cats which were hiding inside the box. Now, I have a question for you. Suppose in the place of cats, we had chickens. Then, and I counted, say there were 24 legs of these chickens which I found. I could not see the chickens, but I could only count that there were 24 chickens which were hiding inside a basket. Now, how do you think I can help myself in telling how many chickens were hiding inside this basket? Now, because I had 24 legs that I could count, and as I know every chicken is having 2 legs. So, I need to group this 24 as 2's. So, let me start grouping it. I have 24 legs that I could count, and every time I remove 2 successively from this 24, I can decide that I have 1 chicken which is hiding inside the basket. Now, you can see that the group getting formed. Every time there is 2 removed, it forms a group, and that group represents 1 chicken. So, let me go and count and find out how many chickens were hiding inside the basket. So, when all the groupings are complete, the 24 legs are exhausted. Now, let me go and count. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So, there are 12 chickens which were hiding inside the basket, and hence I could count their legs as 24. Now, we have another friend of ours, that is Dhruv, who is collecting seashells on the seashore. Now, we have to see how we can help Dhruv also, because Dhruv is also thinking of doing something for his friends. He is there to collect the shells and make necklace out of it. So, let us go and see what Dhruv is doing and how we could help him. So, as I told you children, we are here to help Dhruv, who is on the seashore. Dhruv lives near the sea, and he thought of making necklace for his 3 friends. He looked for seashells the whole day. So, you can see Dhruv collecting the seashells. He collected 112 seashells by evening. Now, he had many different colorful and shiny shells. You can see that he has collected so much, and it is counting to 112. Now, he is thinking of making necklace using these shells. Now, he has decided that he will make one necklace using 28 shells. Now, his question is, will these shells be enough to make necklace for all my friends? So, let us go and see how we can help Dhruv to find out whether he could make the necklace for all his friends. So, how many shells did he collect? He has collected 112 shells, and he is going to make use of how many shells for each necklace? 28. So, we need to take or make groups of 28 in this 112. So, let us see how we can do it. So, you can see that 112 being arranged there, and it is all coming out in groups of 28. Because the number is big, the shells are visible very small for you. I hope you are able to make it out. Now, there are 4 groups of 28 which has come out of 112. So, how many necklace do you think you can make? Yeah, you can make 4 necklace out of this. So, this is what we have to go back and tell Dhruv, that he can make 4 necklace out of the 112 shells that he has collected. Now, how many friends will he have to go and give it to? He has to give it to 3 of his friends. So, do you think he will be able to give it to all the 3 of them? Yes, you are right. He will be able to give it to all the 3 of them. Okay children, now I have a small exercise for you as we had done or helped Dhruv in making necklace. Now, we have a sweet stall where we have Gangu making sweets. Now, look at this. Gangu is making sweets for Eid, and he has made a tray of 80 laddus. So, he has 80 laddus which are already ready. Now, we have Rabia coming in, and she says, please pack 4 laddus in a box, and I need 23 such small boxes. Now, there are 80 laddus which are ready, and Rabia wants them packed in packs of 4 in each box. So, and she also says she requires 23. Now, Gangu is who needs our help. He wants to know whether these 80 laddus will be enough for him to make the box of 23 for Rabia. So, let me go and see how I can help our Gangu. So, how many laddus were ready with Gangu? He had 80 laddus and he has to put them as 4 in a box. So, I have to successively remove 4 from the 80 and see how many boxes I can make repeatedly by putting 4 in a box. So, watch this. Every time 4 comes out, it becomes a group or it becomes a box. So, successively I keep on removing 4 till all my 80 laddus required to be exhausted. So, can you see the number of laddus getting reduced here? Every time a 4 moves out, that means it has been made as a box, and Rabia should be able to carry them with her for Eid. Now, let us continue and see how long it goes on like this to complete all the 80 laddus. So, we are almost with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are already packed. We have the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and already we have 14. Still we have the laddus coming in. So, that was a 15, 16, a 17. So, I have 20 in all boxes ready. Shall we count it again? So, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So, there are 20 boxes which can be packed. But what did Rabia want? She wanted 23 boxes. So, can Gangu prepare 23 boxes from the 80 laddus he had? No, because all the 80 laddus are exhausted in packing 20 boxes. So, if I need 3 more boxes which require to be packed, how many should I put? I should put a 4 here, another 4 and the third 4. So, I require to have another 12 laddus prepared by Gangu to pack 23 boxes to be given to Rabia. So, that is how Gangu should be making 12 more laddus to give Rabia 23 boxes of laddus. Now, there is some practice time for you. Okay children, now we have 5 of our friends who are requesting their grandfather for some money. Now, why do they need this money? Because they have to attend a fair. Now, the grandfather is also very smart. He tells, I have only a 70 rupees in my pocket and I would give it to you only when you are able to divide it equally amongst yourself. So, now let us go and see what these children do to get that 70 rupees from the grandfather. So, children and their grandfather. We had 5 children, Rashi, Seema, Mrudul, Rohit and Lokesh, who asked their grandfather to give them money for the fair. So, the grandfather in turn has said, I have 70 rupees in my pocket, tell me how to share money equally among all of you. If you are right, you get this money. So, the grandfather has made his challenge and now these children have to satisfy him by equally distributing it amongst themselves. So, this is how the girls tried to distribute the money equally amongst them. So, they had 70 rupees to start with and they were 5 friends. So, the girls first tried by giving 10 rupees to each of the 5 and hence 50 rupees was used. So, what was remaining then? From the 70, the 50 is gone and only 20 rupees is left. Now, this 20 rupees also is to be equally distributed among the 5 children. So, what did they do? They further gave 4 rupees to each of their friends to complete the 20, because when 4 rupees is given among 5 of them, 20 gets exhausted and hence they are left with no money now. So, in doing this distribution, the children started by giving 10 rupees first and then another 4 rupees. So, in all, each of the children got 10 plus 4, that is 14 rupees. Okay children, now moving on to story time. We have Shrishti's grandma who has given us some stories, and using these stories she requires to make a few problems. Let's go together and help Shrishti in making the problems for the stories which her grandmother has given. Now what are we seeing in the picture? There are 3 crates. Each crate has 24 bottles in it. So now Shrishti has to frame her question. So because there are 3 crates and each of the crates contain 24 bottles, Shrishti is definitely going to ask how many bottles are there in all. So that was a very simple question. Now going on to the second story. Now in the second story you have packets of Rakis. There are 8 packets of Rakis and each packet has 6 Rakis in it. So what should be your question? Here also you would like to know how many Rakis are there in all. So the question will be how many Rakis are there in all. Turning on to the next question, this seems to be more interesting because there are 10 packets of sugar which is shown in the figure. Now Saurabh paid rupees 110 for all the packets together. So when he purchased all the 10 packets, he had to pay rupees 110. So what do you think would be the question? The question would be, what is the cost of each packet of sugar? Because we don't know the cost of each packet of sugar. Now we have the last question which is coming up. 1 meter of cloth cost rupees 20. This boy Lalbaik brought some cloth from the cloth merchant and paid rupees 140 to him. So what do you think you would frame the question here? Because he has paid a total of 140 rupees and we know that the cost of the 1 meter of cloth is rupees 20. So what should be your question here? Your question will be, how many meters of cloth did Lalbaik buy? So we could successfully frame questions for all the situations given by the grandmother. Children, we have come to the end of our video lesson today. So let's try to summarize what we have learned today. The first thing that we have learned is the multiplication. We have seen multiplication as an arrangement of arrays, that is in rows and columns, and also we have seen multiplication as skip counting. The second major thing that we have seen is the division. We have tried to visualize or see division as continuously subtracting or trying to group them equally. Okay, the third thing that we have seen is division as repeated distribution. So that was very interesting because we could equally distribute and divide things amongst people. And the last and the most interesting part was framing questions for the stories given by grandmother. So I hope you had a nice time viewing this lesson. Stay healthy and stay safe. Have a good day.